Okay. Listen, I'm excited. It's kind of weird that I started laughing as soon as the live button went on. That's because I'm just excited. There's no other way to put it. And I think the biggest reason is because it's the first Monday, not just of the week, but of the entire year. And some of us already dropped the ball. Listen, I'm not a Dolphins fan. I think I'm a fan by default, but fan is such a strong word. I live in Miami, so if I had to root for a team, it would be for the Dolphins. But I'm really the kind of person that roots for the narrative. So, that's a whole nother story. But here's the thing. January 4th is here, and some of y'all already acting like it's December 4th, that the game is over. It has just begun. The momentum, all right? It takes a lot of momentum. When you look in physics, for something to move, I think it's like force equals mass times acceleration. There's this thing called inertia. The most amount of force that's required for a mass to get into motion is when it's in its state of latency. So let's be real. Some of us have been latent since Christmas. We just said, you know what? It's vacation time. I had a hard year. I mean, a lot of us had a hard year, and I'm just going to take it easy. That's okay. So just know it's going to take a little bit more inertia for you to now get out of this state of latency back into the state of work. Don't think that if you didn't kind of get into the grind yesterday, or you didn't get into it on Friday, which was January 1st, that it's not going to happen. It's going to take some time. Why do I say this? Because I missed my morning motivation. So guess what I did? Instead of crying over it, I said, well, you still have the goal in mind. You still know what you're going to do. So just pivot. Instead of it being in the morning, take your time, do the routine that you need to do the work you need to do, and then do it in the afternoon. So that's what we're doing right now, guys. So how do you overcome this? How do you overcome when you feel like you dropped the ball? The reason why I brought up Dolphins, by the way, is because Fitzpatrick, I believe his name was like the quarterback that carried us when we were in the previous game. Not the one yesterday, but the one before that, when they took out Tua and put in Fitzpatrick. My man was killing it. And so apparently Fitzpatrick has COVID. So Tua had to be back in, and we lost. Apparently we lost terribly. I didn't see the game, but my mama told me, it's like, yeah, we got blown out. So the point is this, right? What do you do when you feel like you had a Tua moment, a whole Tua game? I'm going to show you right now what you need to do. All right, let's just get right into it. The first thing that you need to do is I need you to figure out, first of all, what is your goal for the year? What are your goals for the year? Figure that out first. Before you even get into daily rituals and all of that, what are your goals? What do you want to see done? The reason why you need to have that in place is because when the ball gets dropped, and it will, if your ball never gets dropped, if you never fumble January 1st all the way through December 31st of 2021, then I need to come learn and sit under the tutelage of how you live life, because you're perfect. None of us are perfect. But if that's the case, drop me a number. Let's go. I need to learn from you, right? So the point is this, though. You will have some down moments. You will have some terrible, perhaps even months. But if you have the big goal in mind, if you have the big picture in mind, then it's going to be able to, you will have something, you will have a reason to climb out of bed or climb out of that hole. All right. So that's the first thing. Keep that in mind. All right. What do you need to figure out? The first thing that you need to understand is there is going to be some sort of routine, something that you got to do to keep the momentum going. It's going to get you out of your inertia. So the first thing that I suggest that you do, and I'm pulling this straight from my planner, this is nothing new. This is nothing revolutionary. It's just stuff that you got to do. Figure out your daily rituals. How do you break out of the latency? Now, remember, you have what we would consider like this vacation latency, where you've just been dormant. Force, mass times acceleration. You need to have that acceleration push that mass. And the hardest time, the biggest amount of friction is when that mass, your mindset is at full rest. After you are moving, any kind of push is easier and it gets easier, but you need to have that push. That's what your daily rituals is about. So I'm going to look over here because there are 4 things that you should have for your daily rituals. Here's the first one. First one is, it breaks down into the morning and it breaks down into the evening, but it talks about your, and I'm just going to put it here. This one is your morning ritual. Yeah, I know the handwriting is terrible, but that's okay. That's number 1. So how do you wake up? Is it with mindfulness? Is it, throwing on something and getting out the house immediately for exercise? What does it look like for you? That's the first thing that you want to figure out, is what does your morning look like for you? Capture your morning before your morning captures you. And I would strongly suggest that checking emails and social media is not a part of your ritual. It's a part of your distractions. Claim the day for you first and remove all of the other stuff where people are vying for your own attention. That's the first thing. The second thing, though, is you need a morning startup routine. Okay. So I'm going to put here, because it's also morning, but this is for work. Okay. So you need a work startup routine. So you've got the morning ritual, but now you need a morning work startup. That means that if you're not working that day, then you don't need a morning work startup, but you still need to do your morning ritual. Okay, sometimes we get messed up because we just throw the entire day away. Just because we might be on vacation or we might not be working, we throw away everything. So I'll give you one. So like one of my daily self-care type rituals, regardless if I'm working or not, is shaving. And I'm not just talking about, the 3 triple blade Gillette shaving, just scrub it. Nah, I have a whole system in place. I got the Badger brush with the soft, with the soap, the soap puck in the actual pocket theory mug. Like I do the whole 9, guys. Now I used to take a lot of time doing it, but now that I've been doing this for a few years now, it gets a little bit easier, so I don't need to spend as much time. But there's a ritual that I love where I'm not having the water run while I'm doing it. I like to hear the brush bristling against my face. I love to hear the double-edged razor that I'm using actually like not scrape, but cut the hairs. I'm not playing any music. It's super quiet, and I'm in tune with how the blade is running against my face, and it just keeps me in a space of control. Actually, if I can control my beard, which I don't have any because I actually clean it up, if I can control that, then I can control the rest of the day. So think about the things that you can use on a daily basis, even when you're not working. So just because you don't have a work startup for that day doesn't mean that you don't have a morning ritual. Here's number 3. Number 3 is the shutdown. So actually, I'm going to put here work day shutdown. And as a matter of fact, I think that this shouldn't be morning. This should be here work day as well. Okay. So let me just go ahead and put here. So you got your morning startup. I mean, your workday startup. And then you've got your workday shutdown. How are you going to end the day? Now, I think this year what I'm going to do is play a particular song that when I'm done with work, I play the song and I let the song ride out. I'm thinking of like Inception. Y'all know the movie where they had to play a particular song in order to realize, okay, we're about to, I think it was like transitioning out of the dream or whatever it was. But the song, they knew something was happening even in their subconscious. Figure out the things that you need to do. So part of my work startup for my work shutdown is check emails one last time. Another one that I have is write out the next day's tasks. That's important. I don't want to go to bed thinking about what I need to do tomorrow. Just get it done. I think Benjamin Franklin has a great a schedule, a daily schedule. And one of the things that he asks at the end of the day is, I think it's like, what did I do that was meaningful today, or something along those lines. So you want to be able to reflect and then also map out, what am I doing for the day? Okay. So that's that. And now the fourth one is, after you have your morning ritual, you need an evening ritual as well. So for instance, when I start out with devotion, I want to end out with devotion. I don't want to end with just a workday shutdown. Some of us do that, and then all of a sudden we just maybe do Netflix or, just kind of escape. That is a part of a ritual, but you need to categorize, where is that, what it is that you want to do to make your mind just kind of be at ease and start it all over again. Okay. So that's the first thing. You need daily rituals, like map them out, like literally write them out. So I don't know if you can see here. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. But I actually have written them down. Like I have them written out: morning, workday startup, workday shutdown, and then evening. Okay. Here's the next thing though that we're gonna take a look at. Let me go back to the screen here. Now that you have your daily, you get the momentum going. Now you can think about your week. What does Sunday look like? I'm going to change the color here because I think we can change the color. What does your Sunday look like? What does your Monday look like? What does your Tuesday look like? What does your Wednesday look like? So you want to be able to and I think that what just happened here is I froze. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. So let me see if something just happened here. Give me 1 second here, guys. I apologize. I don't know what happened. Let's see here. Fixing the camera right quick. Fixing the camera. Let's see if you guys can still see me. Can you guys see me yet? Can you see me? Can you see me? Am I still there? Okay, I think I should be back. Let's see. Am I back? Okay, cool. I'm back. So here's what we're doing now, guys. You're looking at what does your Sunday look like, your Monday, your Tuesday, all the way down to your Saturday. Now, why are you doing this? Because once again, if you are starting and then you just have a moment where you just drop the ball, you can at least go back and like literally write it down. You can at least go back and say on Sunday between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m., this is what my day should look like. 5 a.m., I'm probably still asleep. That's okay. But you want to map it down to the granular, all the way down, guys. So take that timestamp and map it all the way down. If you say on Saturday, listen, that's my chill day. I'm not going to roll out of bed till 10 a.m. Then do that. But write it down. The reason why you want to write it down, my word for the year is simplicity. I think my action phrase is write it down, because you will have a baseline to go back to when you realize, man, hold on, wait a minute. Something doesn't feel right. I think that I made a mistake, or I think that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Go back to what you said you were going to do. You just might be on track. And even if you aren't on track, you can pick up from where you left off, which leads to the next one. Okay, so you got the daily, then you get the ideal week. The reason why it's an ideal week is because it's not always going to work out, but you at least have the baseline of how perfect it should look, even though it's not going to be perfect. If you have a perfect week, that's amazing. Most times, though, especially if you are responsible to other people, if you've got kids, if you're married, whatever the case is, the week is going to rarely be ideal, but you at least know what it should look like. Okay, if you have perfectly completed your rituals, then the likelihood that your week might be ideal is still up there, but it may not be. Here's what I believe. I believe that what your rituals do is your rituals keep you. Your rituals keep you so that even if your week isn't ideal, you're still doing the things that will keep you productive. You're still making sure that you're doing your meditation, your mindfulness, you're exercising. You're still making sure that you're checking those emails, or you're, doing the 1 second here, making sure that you're doing the checking your social media posts and responding to them timely, or doing a content scheduling for the day, whatever it is. You're still making sure that you're playing that particular song that's going to wind you down, and maybe you start shutting your phone off in your evening ritual at 9 o'clock, 9:30, so that you don't get any calls, right? So you're still doing these things so that even if your week is not ideal, you can at least on a daily basis have some level of consistency. And that's what this is about. It's being consistent. When I look back at my 2020 and I say, man, I wasn't consistent, or I didn't feel like I was consistent in a lot of things. When I look back at what I wrote down, this is about writing it down. When I look back at what I wrote down, I'm just like, whoa, wait a minute. Even though I didn't feel consistent in certain things, I definitely got up and reached a milestone of 70 burpees. How did that happen? Because I started out the year that way, with just exercising. And then at the fourth quarter, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to intensify it just a little bit more. Okay. So what is Go Lean about? Go Lean is this: after you drop the ball, after your ideal week is not ideal, you have to figure out, okay, what can I pull? What can I pull for my morning ritual? What can I pull from my work startup? What can I pull? What are some of the things that I can pull to at least try to assemble like a lean morning ritual and a lean work startup? What does that look like? Okay, so here's the first one. I didn't do a morning motivation, so I said I will do a Monday motivation. So I'm still going to stream today, but the time was different. Okay. The timing was different. I didn't do a full workout today, but I still did enough exercise to put strain on the muscles. So I still did some sort of resistance with my body, push-ups, killing them joints, killing them. I didn't do the full HIIT, the high interval intensity or high intensity interval training situation. Nope. I just did push-ups today. What else? Like, guys, I'm being real. Like, some of us, we want to feel as if we're entering into 2020 feeling right, feeling tight, and we getting it in. And some of us didn't get it in. I'm trying to tell you, this is how it's going to work out. This is what you need to do. Your workday startup. Okay. So you weren't able to so part of my workday startup is reading 5 articles, like 5 chunky articles, and then responding to them because I want to develop a presence, a bigger presence on Medium. I want to be a top writer on Medium. I don't even know if they have that terminology anymore because Medium switched some stuff up. But in order to do that, I can't only write articles, I need to engage. So I'm thinking, you know what? Not thinking, I wrote down 5 is going to be my thing, at least 5, right? 5 a day. I didn't get that done. But you know what I did get done? I read, I skipped that altogether. I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on the important stuff. What are some of the emails that I need to respond to? I cut it out. Like, y'all, because here's the thing. When I first started, I was like, man, this is not good. Like, there's so many things that need to get done. But if in your mind, you're telling yourself, okay, all right, it's not ideal. What can I cut out? What can I tweak a little bit? What can I maybe push back? What can I still get done? Even though it's imperfect, you'll be okay. And you won't sabotage the rest of your day, which will then sabotage the rest of your week. This is like an anti-self-sabotage program. Daily rituals. What does your ideal week look like? Go lean. Going lean means this. You need to adapt quickly. So by going lean, you're mapping out, okay, what can I pull from my rituals? What can I pull from my startup? What can I pull from my evening? What can I pull? And then you just do it. Adapting just means to do it. So I would put this here. My morning motivation turned into a Monday motivation, right? The push-ups, which should have been like a whole set. It should have been like an entire program that I have for indoor workout. I just said, I just need to do something quickly to get it in. Devotion, I didn't put that in there, but devotion was there. For me, devotion was like a non-negotiable. Let me at least make that. But the timing with my devotion, that's supposed to be a clock, was a little bit shorter. It wasn't as long as I wanted it to be, but I had to truncate the time. Okay. So by going lean, you're thinking about certain things. You're thinking about time. You're thinking about the practicality of the whole thing. Like, should you even do it at all? So you might be removing certain things. You might be pushing certain things back. That's what we're talking about when you go lean. Adapting quickly is really just, okay, go ahead and do it. Just do it now. Just go ahead and start the day whenever the day has begun for you, go ahead and start it. Now, don't lie to yourself and say, well, I did my morning devotion and it's the afternoon. That ain't your morning ritual is over. But it doesn't mean that you can't do your morning ritual in the afternoon. You can still do some of those rituals. You just couldn't check it off on your list and say, I did my morning ritual today. Don't lie. All right. That's the last one. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself. Okay. Let me just check back and see if anybody's in here. Yeah. Hey, listen. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So my boy Brian had called me and I'm using my phone and the thing kind of went a little janky. It's cool. I didn't put the do not disturb on. So that's all right. You're good, man. You're good. So listen up, guys. I'm going to talk about this again, but this is what I want us to do. I am going to do what's called the Samson Challenge this week. And I would like not that I would like for, but I'm anticipating that 10 people would sign up with me, and I'll get the sign up stuff and all of that together. But for now, you can just like DM me or in the comments, just say, I'm in or whatever. And at least 10 people. And what we're going to do is, if you don't know the story of Samson, we're going to go through the biblical process of his life and how he was still able to end in honor. So I want you to be able to end the day in honor. I want you to be able to end the week with honor. I want you to be able to end the year with honor. So we're going to take a man who he fumbled up his life, and fumbled is the euphemism that I'm using. He two-odd his life until the very end, got it together. It was painful at the end, but he still was able to succumb and to submit to the calling that he had. You have a calling for the day, you have a calling for the week, you have a calling for the month, you have a calling for the quarter, you have a calling for the year. So we're going to talk about this. I'm probably going to create a whole nother separate video for this, but this is for those of you that are still watching this thing. What we're going to do is we're going to take a man who had a huge calling on his life. He had a huge important responsibility and he shirked it away. Like he really just threw away a large part of his life by just doing what he wanted to do. He had no discipline. He made no commitments. He agitated people around him. He even brought down his family in ways that they didn't even know. We'll talk about that too. That's all of the thing. And we're going to take this biblical framework and try to understand how can somebody who has sabotaged the majority of their life, how can they reclaim that? How can you reclaim your day, your week, your month, your quarter, your year? We're going to go through the Samson Challenge and we're going to work through that together. Okay. Now, the reason why it's called the Samson Challenge is because there is, at the end of his story, guys, these are supposed to be pillars. At the end of his story, Samson has to stand between two pillars. Man, I'm saying man because this is terrible. Samson has to stand between two pillars, and what he has to do is he has to push those pillars so that everything that's on top of it, it's like structures. He has like structure stuff. Oh Lord, if my art teachers could see me now. He has to crumble all of this by just pushing two pillars. And by the way, it wasn't this small. I think there were about maybe 15,000 people that were on top of the structure that he was on. We would consider this structure, I'm going to do another video so that, because some of y'all might not have gotten this far already. We would consider this structure a structure or a system that would sabotage your entire year. You want to push out those pillars beginning in January. Okay, we want to push these suckers down. So what the Samson Challenge is all about is you just need to focus on the two pillars that are holding up everything for the year that would cause you to sabotage your success. These two pillars are holding up systems that have been near and dear to your heart for a long time. And what we want to do is we want to push them out, push them down. All right. And the only way that you can collapse the system is by these two strong pillars right here. Okay, guys. So that's it. That's it. If you want to gain the momentum in your life, if you want to gain the momentum for your Monday, I mean, Monday is already halfway done. So there's another practicality there where you're just going to have to say, okay, the day is over. I mean, it's not over now, but the day's over. I just need to start again tomorrow. I'm suggesting to you, figure out your daily rituals before the day is out. Envision what your ideal week looks like, but write it down. Go lean. Maybe now that it's 3 o'clock, some of y'all still didn't get certain things done, right? Find one thing that you can do today and then adapt. Adapt means to do it. Go do it. All right. All right, guys. So this was the Monday motivation. I know that, listen, and this is special. This is not for everybody. This is for folk who right now are like, man, I don't know. I don't know about this year. The year just began. So I'm going to repeat it again. Force equals mass times acceleration. There is a level of inertia. The highest part, if my physics serves me correctly, the most amount of force that's required to move the object is when the object is in complete rest. So some of y'all are still in complete rest because of Christmas, because of New Year's festivities and all of that. So now it's time to move. And this is going to be the hardest time to move. How do you move? Figure out your daily routine. That's going to get your momentum going every day. Envision what your ideal week looks like. When you fumble, when you mess up, select certain things from each of your morning ritual, your work startup, your work shutdown, and then your evening ritual. Just pull some stuff out. Go lean with it. The day is not done. The day is not totally over. Just pick some stuff out. Just pick some stuff out. Just come on. Like I'm giving you a real life example right now. I didn't do a morning motivation. I changed it to a Monday motivation. So instead of just throwing the whole thing away, I just said, you know what? Let's still do it. And as a matter of fact, let's make it useful for other people who might have felt like they dropped the ball already. The year's not over. And then you adapt quickly. All right, y'all. That's it. If y'all are looking forward to the Samson challenge that we're going to have, I'm going to create another video, probably roll that out today or tomorrow. And let's get it in. It's only the first week. It's the first Monday of the first year of the first, well, not the first year of 2021. So anywho, guys, I'll holler at y'all. And I really hope that you take something from this and use it to make your Monday magnificent.